Hi there, it's us again. I'm Oralia Acosta with Nutrilicious by Oralia.
And I'm Veronique with Joyous Living.
Do you yo-yo?
Like that?
No, Veronique, not the toy, the diet. I'm talking about yo-yo dieting. Are you confused about food? Would you like to know how, what, and when to eat? Does every meal present confusion for you? Would you like to stop the guessing game for real this time? If any of these describe you even slightly, then pay close attention, because we're going to tell you how this time really can be different.
Yes, right now we're going to show you one of our favorite tools, a tool that our clients just love. Have you ever noticed how Sally is eating only greens, vegetables? She's the picture of health. She's athletic. But when you do what she's doing, when you eat when she's eating, you're miserable. You're hungry all the time. You cannot digest the food very well. You're having stomach upset all the time, and it doesn't work for you. You just go on the Sally's diet for a while, and then you get frustrated. Then what's happening? You quit. You start putting some pounds, and then you look again for a new diet, and then you say, I wonder whether Caroline's diet would not be a better choice for me this time. Let me try Caroline's diet. And here you are again. And you know what's going to happen, don't you?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know where this is going to take you,
Yeah.
don't you?
Yeah.
Chances are neither Caroline's nor Sally's diet are sustainable, and they do not address your body's specific needs. And this will create more confusion. It won't teach you anything about yourself or respect your personal bio-individuality.
Yeah, that's a concept I've heard about. Bio-individuality. It's something we don't really talk a lot about.
Exactly.
But we are all different.
And most diets just address a standard protocol without taking into account your specific bio-individuality. And then what happens is that you get frustrated, you stop that diet, you go on to many more diets, and the cycle starts all over again.
Yes.
And there you are, off on the next roller coaster diet that will be a failure as well. But what if you could fuel your body instead of just feeding it? And what if you knew how to tell the difference in your body between the two? As an example, what did you eat for breakfast this morning? Maybe you had some cereal, some milk, some toast, jelly or jam, or a pastry on the go. How did you feel an hour after that? Do you notice that your energy starts to dip? Do you have trouble concentrating or focusing? Do you find yourself at the vending machine or reaching for coffee mid-morning? I know people that don't even wait until mid-morning. By the time they get to work, they're already running on empty and already reaching for something sweet, typically. Or do you have any other type of cravings by mid-morning? Now, what if tomorrow instead you had a breakfast that included protein and fat, whether it be eggs, bacon, pork sausage, or something that contains protein and a good amount of fat, and coffee maybe with just a little sugar? Do you notice any cravings after that? Do you notice that you don't have cravings, that you're not hungry, that your clarity is there, that you're able to focus and do and perform? Have you noticed that? These two that I just described are the difference between feeding your body and fueling it. And once you notice that difference, you will start to pay closer attention to what food feels like in your body and what to eat.
Yeah, I see what you mean. I grew up in France, and in France, typically our breakfast is carbs, it's bread. It used to be not croissants all the time, but now it's more and more pastries and croissants and Nutella and these kind of things. And I really had to stop at some point. First, I was putting on a lot of weight, and I was not going through my morning, and I was eating lunch, I was having afternoon slump all the time, and I really had to go into protein breakfast.
And what was that slump like for you? Veronique?
Just being unable to do anything, just sleeping, just
Low
like, and
energy.
you have to lay down and take a nap. And I'm now having my breakfast is a lot of nuts, nut seeds, which is very high in protein as well. And sometimes I'm having a couple of eggs, and it helps. It really does. The whole morning, I go through the whole morning, and I'm getting lunch, reaching lunch, not starving, which is very good.
Right.
And then I don't have to eat whatever is in my fridge for lunch, so or on the menu if we eat outside. But you know what? I've noticed when I'm in vacation, for example, and we have a bit of time off, we go on the beach or whatever we are on the mountains, and we do have a typical French breakfast, it doesn't bother me as much.
Right.
It really bothers me when I have to perform and when I have to work, when I have to be awake.
Exactly.
Yes, when I'm with my clients and you have to be there. So this is really what I understand being the difference between fueling and feeling. Yeah.
Exactly. Fueling and feeding your body.
Yeah,
exactly.
fueling and
Exactly.
feeding.
You're right. And another thing is that the body processes things differently according to our state. We always have there's something that I teach all of my clients is that who are you being when you're eating? If you're stressed out when you're eating, I don't care if you're eating the most nutritious breakfast, the body's not going to digest it. You're not going to get the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients that are required, and you're probably going to get a very upset stomach. As to where when you're relaxed, your body is open and receptive to receive the nutrients, vitamins, and minerals that are in the food that you're eating. Now, it is true that if you need to perform, then you definitely want to feed your body. Pardon me, you definitely want to fuel your body instead of feeding it. And this is why it's been shown over and over that children that do not have breakfast have such a hard time performing in school, and if they're given tests in the morning, they fail typically. So that's something that we go over and we talk about, and I teach people.
Yeah, and that's a great concept. I really like it. It really helps me. I'm asking myself, am I fueling myself, or am I just merely feeding my body? So it's really a great concept. I love that.
So another thing to further clarify that is you can, if you want to distinguish the difference between fueling and feeding, feeding would be as if you had a big sign here that says feed me, and you're just putting food in indiscriminately without really noticing what's going on in your body and how it feels. That's the difference. So I have a question for you. How much longer do you want to be in the wilderness of the yo-yo dieting?
True. No, not this one. Yes.
And having confusion about what you eat. Having a fuel gauge is a great tool to help you distinguish the complexity of foods and to maneuver in the food wonderland, because there are a lot of foods out there and we're often confused, and even I as a health and wellness coach have been fooled and tricked into thinking that something is good when it's really not. It's just the wording and the ever so slight nuances that we teach you, as well as how it feels in your body.
Yeah.
So,
are you ready for more? I know a lot of people will hear all of that and say, it's not my time, I don't want to bother, why bother? Maybe you just got used to poor digestion. Yeah, maybe, it's very difficult to change our habits, and this is part of what we do as coaches, teaching you to change habits, but it's not easy. You really need to want it.
you need a coach.
Yes, and are you really ready for changes in your life?
So type of 1, if you've noticed the difference between fueling and feeding your body. And also, please share what that food is. We're curious. We want to know if you've noticed this difference. Maybe you've noticed it, but you didn't know that this was a difference between fueling and feeding your body. So again, type of 1 if you've noticed the difference, and please share with us that number 1 food. So, you were talking about how people medicate to make up for some of the foods that we ingest that don't benefit us.
Well, a lot of people just going to take Zentex or Tums or whatever medication, thinking that it's the answer to poor
digestion.
Yeah, poor digestion, poor food choices, and it is not. It really is not. Studies have really shown that those antacid are just what they are. Antacid. Our stomach is supposed to be acid. It's supposed to be between a 2 and a 3 pH, which is very acid, and if you put antacid in your stomach, what are you doing? You're preventing yourself from digesting. Yes,
exactly.
You don't feel the burn in the stomach, but you really are not digesting
your food.
So this is, that's a choice we make. It's everything. It's a choice we make. Once we learn what fuels us, what we learn what is really good for us, what we learn how we can go through a day without an afternoon slump,
right.
This is freedom. It really is freedom, and this is how we actually release the weight naturally. And that's
exactly.
what we want.
This is food freedom. So if you're looking for food freedom, you've come to the right spot. This is the video for you. And we also would like to ask that if you enjoyed this video and you feel that it spoke to you, please share this video. And one last thing before you go, tell us about some of the diets that you've tried out there in the winter, not the winter wonderland, the food wonderland. I'm thinking winter, although it's 80 plus degrees here in Houston. Are some of the insane things, in your opinion, that you've done in the wilderness? Again, this is Oralia Acosta with Nutralicious.
And it's Veronique Everhart with Curious Living, and we'll see you in our next video.
Yes, stay tuned for our next video where we will go directly to the heart of the matter and talk about sabotage.
Sabotage, that's a big one.
That is.
Can't wait to see you again.
Thank you, and bye-bye.